Hello, and welcome to PS10 Radio. This is your host, Angeline, and today is an episode of Stepmom 411. How can we become the best stepmom that we want to be? That's a difficult question because it depends on where you are in your situation. It also depends on the dynamics that are working around you. And it also depends on what space you have to just be you and to pursue the life that you want. So, when I talk about pursuing the life that you want, really think about that. Maybe even get a journal out, a pen and paper, and say to yourself, what do you want right now when it comes to your family, when it comes to your marriage, when it comes to your children, and when it comes to your stepchildren? And do they all mesh together? Is there any overlap? Can they coincide with one another? Are they conflicting? Are they contingent on other factors outside of your home? Think about all of that because the dynamics by which your blended family has formed can speak a lot to what's going on with you and maybe why you're not at your maximum capacity as a stepmom to be able to be the best stepmom that you want to be. Some of those negative factors is the high conflict birth mother, right? So another way of saying it is baby mama drama. When you have things going on that are outside of your control, you can't control the other parent that's not in the home. Sometimes you can't even control the parent that's in the home, but you really can't control the parent that's outside of the home. They're saying when you can pick them up, when you have to drop them off, if you're dropping them off, or they're coming to pick them up, or we're meeting here to pick them up, or they're going to stay home this weekend, or we're going on a vacation and you can't have them, or you can't take them with you on your vacation, and um, we need more money, or they need more money, or whatever it may be. So you have all these different factors that come up when you're dealing with that other parent. They make a decision that you don't agree with, and vice versa. Your households are different, maybe by just a couple rules, maybe drastically from one spectrum to the other. Maybe one household is very structured, the other one is very rigid, the other one is very lenient, the other one is very unpredictable. Maybe one is toxic, and you're in the uh, trenches trying to figure out how you can take them to court or fill out the paperwork or file motions, or just all of these different factors that are going on. No blended families are functioning the same. They all derive from different situations. They all function differently, just as we are all unique in our own families of origin. Anyways, it's the same thing with a blended family. You would think it would be easier because, especially a stepmother who may not have children of her own. But no, it's really sometimes it's tormenting because maybe because of infertility issues, you're unable to have your own children. So then you have to kind of live life through your spouse, or live life trying to hold on to that hope that I'll be able to be a parent to this person, but you're just met with so much conflict and just not at the level of involvement that you would really truly like to be. Or maybe you are overly involved, and next thing you look around and you're the only parent that's just actively, constantly consistent and involved and making the rational decisions, because everyone's in their feelings, and so they're not always making the best decisions, because sometimes it does take that objective person, which could also be the step person, the step parent, to look at everything and say, hey, we can't have any of this. And sometimes we're dragged into that drama where our spouse has to be like, okay, y'all have to cut this out, and they have to step in. But all of these factors can contribute to why you're not reaching your maximum potential as the best step parent that you want to be. It could be time, it could be resources, as far as like, maybe you guys don't have the money that the other parent has. Maybe you guys have more money than the other parent has. Maybe you guys have other things going on, like you have parents that you have to take care of. So it kind of takes away from some of the focus on just the kids. Maybe you have some medical issues, or your spouse has medical issues that is kind of overshadowing what's going on with your stepchildren. So you're not able to be present. And maybe you just have such a negative relationship with the other parent that you have to go through the legal turmoils and court proceedings and filing motions and paperwork and documenting everything. I mean, those things are good to have as resources, but they're also draining, just mentally draining, financially draining. And that it's not blind to the child. Our children can see this, stepchildren and our birth children. They can see that something's going on. We're having conflict. They see when parents aren't talking to each other. You guys aren't communicating well. You're arguing. You're fussing. You're making negative comments about the other parent in front of the child, or to the child, or to the parent directly, and the child is a witness to this. It may be a flashback to some trauma that may have happened while you were together with the other parent. Maybe your stepchildren have never seen their natural parents together. So that's just not a thing, and they only see you. And maybe they just don't understand the dynamics between you and your husband as you guys kind of work through things as a couple, because it's already hard enough to kind of like merge your life with another adult, and especially another adult who has children outside of your union together. But then you throw into maybe your union and your children that you end up having with that union, and maybe the way or the timing of the union, and all of the people, everyone has something to say about it. Everyone has 2 cents to give about it. Everyone is seeing things from a different perspective, while you may be innocent in a lot of things that are being um, blamed on you, are being projected as your involvement. You are involved, and there's just nothing else you can do about it. You are in the situation. If you want to continue to have a strong family, you just have to endure that. And one way that we suggest is to get a support system. Get with your friends or family members, people who support you, who they know your personality, they know your heart, and pray and seek God for guidance and what to say and do, and really take time to think before you act and think before you speak. A lot of times we put ourselves in the situation when we don't need to be. Another thing that we're suggesting is let the dad be the dad. Let the father talk to the mother of the children and hash all of the conflict out. If they need a mediator, suggest to your husband, let's go to the court and get a mediator so that this can be resolved without emotions involved and just negativity flying back and forth. Let it be done in that way. Or seek to have a life coach or a therapist or a counselor or someone or a pastor, someone you trust, be the mediator. If you don't want to legally do it in a courtroom, which I don't blame you. A lot of times, though, mediation isn't done in a courtroom. It's usually done at the courthouse, but not in a courtroom. It's usually done behind closed doors because the judge is the last resort. So what you want to do is make sure that you are, being that level-headed person in the situation, being the person that can think rationally, being the person that considers the children first, the well-being of the children first, and not just thinking of yourself. Because oftentimes stepmoms are kind of given the rap that they're selfish, they're only thinking of themselves, they're not thinking about the kids, they don't care about nobody else but themselves, and they don't care about the other parent, and they just want to just be married. They don't really want the kids, and that's far from the truth. When we enter relationships, most stepmoms, I can only speak for most and only really speak for myself, truly. That's where my expertise lies within my own situation, but our intentions are pure. We know that you have a child when we marry you. We know that he has a child when we marry him. Yes. And I chose to be in that situation. And yes, I do love him enough to just go ahead and get married, even if I'm not completely satisfied with the dynamics of the situation, because I have the hope and love within my heart that I am going to be able to get through this on a positive note. We have established that dynamics is very important and can impact your mood. It can impact the way you see things, your perspective on things. It can impact how you feel, your emotions, and what's going on with you. Certain things and people and situations and holidays and weekends can trigger just all kinds of a flood of emotion. And one thing that we need to do better of, stepmoms out there, and I'm talking from one stepmom to another, is we need to be able to check our feelings and check our emotions and not let our emotions dictate how we're going to act and talk to our family members. So, if you recall, like I said, there's so many things that are out of your control. You can only control yourself. However, if you can take a moment to pause before responding to things and to people, and better prepare yourself, and as things approach, such as holidays or family gatherings, especially with extended family, just consider the fact that, okay, they might make a comment, or the birth mom might come and drop the child off, or might pick up the children from there. Like, you have to just all the different scenarios in your head, just be prepared for them. Do not be surprised by anything. Of course, you want to expect a peaceful transition, a peaceful handoff and pickup, and a peaceful drop off. But if it does not go that way, don't be surprised. Be prepared. Do not be surprised. Be prepared. So let me recap right quick on what we've talked about so far. We want to have a support system so you can always feel supported. You want to be able to pray about what's going on with you, with your family, with the children, with your life. You want to be able to look at things objectively. So let the father be the father, let him parent, and you support that. And when you guys disagree, you do that in private. I need to add that on. That's very important. It's not as important as when you've been wronged in front of other people, that person apologizes in front of everyone that they wronged you in front of. But let's just keep it classy, and if you're going to disagree, disagree in private. And then also prepare, do not be surprised. So that you can, when you need to respond to something, or when you need to give an answer, or you need to show up at something, or you may even decide that, okay, it's going to be too much for me, I'm already overwhelmed just thinking about it. Take a moment for yourself, pray about it. If God tells you you need to be there, you need to proceed, you need to go forward, then be prepared and go forward and do not respond to negativity. However, if you pray to God and you hear him tell you you need to separate from this situation, it is not going to be any good that comes from it. Talk to your spouse about it in private again, and let them know, I'm not feeling like this is a good opportunity for me to be involved right now. So I'm going to totally support you, but I'm going to take a step back for a minute so I can get myself together. I don't want us to have a conflict. I don't want to have a conflict in front of the children. I don't want to be fighting in front of your family. So let me step back and allow me that space. Allow me to do something else, or, come later, or whatever it may be. Sometimes, that is a more reasonable reaction, or that is a more reasonable choice than always putting yourself in the middle of a situation and dealing with conflict purposefully, knowing that no good is going to come from it. If you have to listen to your intuition. That's what God is for. Your God is going to give it to you. He's going to give you that feeling. He's going to give you that insight. He's going to make it very clear that you will not have peace if you proceed. So if you don't have peace with it, then do not proceed, or proceed with caution. Again, prepare. Prepare. Don't be surprised. Be prepared. So how do you want to show up? What would be your best as a step parent be? What would be your best as a stepmom? What kind of bonus mom do you wish to be? I know for myself, the kind of bonus mom that I've always inspired to be is someone that my stepdaughter felt like she could come and talk to me, that she could lean in, that we could have a relationship where she can talk to me and I can be there for her. Not just as a mom or a mother figure, but as a friend as well. And what I do like is the fact that even though I'm in a situation now where I am on both sides of the fence, I'm a mother and I'm a stepmother. And also, I am actually on the other side of the fence because I am actually a divorced stepmother. So I am still involved with my stepdaughter. And it's very difficult sometimes to balance that. I definitely don't want to be too enmeshed, but at the same time, I want to maintain that relationship because I am actually invested in her, and my feelings are invested, my mind, my time, my past, my thoughts. And so I just continue that relationship at a manageable level for both of us, and we both are able to maintain communication and respect for one another. And I respect, the whole family dynamic. And I respect my husband for not getting so enmeshed that there's no line and it's not a clear boundary there. You still have to have boundaries. And when you have personal boundaries, you can show people how you want to be treated and show people how much you're going to put up with. So having personal boundaries and drawing that line is so very important. And that is another way for you to be a better stepmom, or be the best stepmom that you can be. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Stepmom 411. Just to get the conversation started about being your best, go ahead and message us and tell us, what is being your best as a stepmom or bonus mom? What does that look like? And as always, be the best you that you can be, one positive step at a time. Peace.